How's Kingdom Come Deliverance 2?
It's freaking awesome. I love being a peasant. It's so good. I'm gonna keep it short because I could spend the rest of the show talking about this and nobody wants that. KCD2.
I want to talk about it a little bit. So
KCD2 is arguably the best sandbox game that's ever been made. And
Strong.
the reason that it is because it feels like in many ways it's learned from a lot of the previous styles of games and kind of combined everything into this like just super impressive sandbox experience. When you start the game, there is about an hour and a half, 2 hour tutorial. And then right when the game starts, like the instant it starts, there is an event. And then it says, okay, go do this thing.
Okay.
I have played this game 42 hours.
Damn.
And this morning I did the next thing.
The first thing. Okay.
In the main quest.
Got it.
I am on slight spoilers. If you want 0 KCD2 spoilers, wait until I'm done. I'm on the first of multiple world maps.
Oh, okay.
So it's like I'm 40 hours in. I haven't even like in many ways started the game. But it has been just a miraculously fun experience. Voice acting has been incredible. The characters have been entertaining. We have done multiple quests already that rival some of the best quests in the base game, and really like that rival like Cyberpunk and BG3. Like there are the world and the way that it reacts is just 10 of 10. It is a phenomenal sandbox game.
Now,
and I'm loving every minute.
We probably refresh my memory. When you say like when it reacts, what does that actually mean?
So for instance, I fast traveled to a tavern today and I just walk up and there's 3 unnamed villagers arguing with each other. And they sit there for like multiple minutes arguing. You could have just walked by. And then all of a sudden one of them gets mad at the other and they just start fist fighting in the middle of the road.
Okay.
And then so they start doing their thing. One of them gets knocked out. Then that creates another, set of things to happen. So it's like everything is sandboxy. Like things happen all the time. You'll be walking by a guard and he'll just randomly say something to you about something you did. And then you can respond to him if you want to about what you did. The world feels very alive in lots of little ways. And they've done a great, the big word that I come back to over and over is immersion. The best sandbox games make you feel immersed. Stalker 2 got my game of the year last year, even though with all of its flaws, because of how much it immersed me into the world. KCD2 does that even better in some ways. So it's remarkably not buggy. Everything just kind of seems to work. I've crashed a single time in 40 hours, and most people haven't crashed at all. And there are some bugs here and there, and I've heard there's a few quests that haven't been completing properly. I've run into a couple myself, but for the sheer size of this game, the especially for a release candidate like a 1.0, it is crazy how few bugs there are, especially compared to the first game. Right. Which was a mess on release. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But no, it's an incredible game so far. It's been an incredible experience, and I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah, I've seen shared opinions from so many people that are playing it. My biggest thing, and this has always been a thing with any of the Kingdom Come Deliverance, or with I guess with the other one. There's only 2 games. The lack of fantasy magic and all that stuff is like, I'm just not, I can't give a fuck. I just can't get into the world.
I'm normally the same way, dude.
Yeah.
I normally, and as my chat will tell you, I don't normally do like historical stuff.
Yeah.
It's not, thankfully this one is gamified enough for me. There's enough gamification. Like it is a realistic simulator on the surface, but there's a whole lot in this game that's heavily gamified. I mean, especially as you start getting into alchemy and stuff and getting like night vision and all sorts of like really strong pots and stuff.
So there is a little
fantasy. If you see right now, the reason that I'm seeing so well at night is because I have a potion called Night Ion or Night Ion. I just call it Night. And it basically lets you see at night like 10 times better than any human normally could. So, there's stuff like that. Okay. Instantly drink something to remove all of your drunkenness. Stuff that obviously doesn't exist in real life. There's a lot of that stuff in the game. It's just not necessarily on the surface.
Got it.
It's just stuff to kind of get you around game mechanics and stuff.
Yeah. So then that's
Nighthawk. Thank you.
They kind of like hand wave it a little bit and be like, yeah, we've got alchemy, but it's for kind of game mechanic purposes.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Yeah, it gets you all the stuff that you would kind of need in a game like this to have fun.
Got
it. Like no human can see in pitch black, but if you drink this magic potion, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, when I played KCD 1, it seemed like the alchemy was really tedious. Have they done anything about that?
Everything in KCD 2 has been touched or addressed in some way. In general, to make it more palatable or easier. So the alchemy is still the same alchemy, but now you can train up to make like 5, 6, and 7, or 4, 5, and 6 pots per use. So you make 1 potion and you get like 6 pots. And then like you can get up the quality of the potions now. So if you make like the max quality potion, like I have a potion that lasts 2 days when I drink it, and then I make 6 of them at a time when I make them. Not only that, but like they sped up all the animations. There's more QOL. They made it like an alchemy, for instance, so you don't have to like do the bellows as much. You just like move the pot up and down for a set amount of time, which the whole thing is easier. Lots of little touches like that on almost every system, where it's like they had a good idea in the first game and it's a more refined playable version in the second. There's also a lot of stuff in the second we just didn't get in the first one. Like you can blacksmith now. There's blacksmithing.
Speaking of,
which is really cool.
Speaking of, my biggest problem, like, because I played, God, I don't know how many hours of the first one I played just to see what it was like, see what the fuss was all about. Kingdom. There. I played 25 hours of Kingdom Come Deliverance, the first one. And my biggest problem with the game was combat. It was just the jank. And it wasn't satisfying. So like I looked for the quickest and cheapest and most gamified way to win fights rather than actually using their systems. I wanted to work around their systems.
Yes.
What does it feel like now?
So especially at the beginning of KCD 1, you kind of had to do that. They really wanted you to feel weak, and they really leaned into that. The KCD 1 combat system is a blueprint for the KCD 2 combat system. And the KCD 2 combat system has been remarkably streamlined. You don't have 5 directions anymore. You have 4. And the bottom direction is actually a stab. So there's no more like stab, right click. Everything for the combat system is done on the mouse now. There's no more Q and other random stuff. You can dodge and stuff with spacebar, but like now it's only like every time you right click, you can block. You have to then left click to attack. They've taken out master strikes in their traditional sense. So every fight doesn't just evolve down to waiting to right click at the right time. Now there's like a whole, like you have to be on the opposite side and attack when they're attacking, and really challenging people will move around quickly. So it's hard to do. The TLDR here, before I go into this, because I could talk about the combat system for 20 minutes. It is easier. It is more streamlined, and it is far more intuitive. It feels much better as a combat system. It's still a little janky, but that's just because there's no combat system like it. So it is, you know, something you kind of have to learn, and it's new. And they've also, and this is a big thing about 1, you can now completely manage multiple opponents. So not only do your opponents not all instantly jump you from all sides, they kind of do it more like a Hollywood movie brawl, where they'll like form kind of like a little bit of a circle around you, and, you know, one person will attack you and the other guys will kind of hang back a little bit, which already makes it easier. But now the positioning is far more intuitive. So if you have 3 people coming at you, they all have their swords out and they're moving slowly. If you kind of swing to the left, you can absolutely position 2 of them behind the first one and then work on the first one. And they'll try to like get around him, but you can keep moving too and just focus on one person. In 1, that was almost impossible because the guys on the side would just sprint to each left and right side of you every time you tried to do that. But in this one, everyone moves slower. So if there's an archer, you can use the person you're fighting to body block the archer, and the archer the entire fight will be complaining about not having a clear shot. So it's stuff like that. It's far more intuitively realistic and less just all these guys are more powerful than you and you will die kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I find the combat system in 2 superior in almost every way to the first game.
Could an argument be made that the combat clicked for you because you played 1?
Yes.
Okay. So with that said, would you relate it to, because what you described kind of says like, or kind of feels like chivalry to me, the combat and chivalry. Is that?
It's simplified. It's a simplified version of chivalry combat.
Got it.
KCD 1's was a simplified version that also had relatively large design flaws. They had a good idea in KCD 1, but there were things about that system that just didn't work properly, like multi-people combat, falling back on Master Strike, like a lot of good ideas in KCD1, but it just didn't pan out. They have refined that in 2 to the point where it feels like a damn decent combat system. Yeah, you gotta put a little time in to learn it, and yes, it'll be evolving throughout the game as you get new skills and combos and stuff, but it just feels so much more solid.
Okay.
Especially like when you're defending and riposting, like that's been changed a huge amount. Also now, if you notice, you can clearly see where people are holding their weapon. And there's this whole new system where, like, if you attack on the side they aren't holding their weapon, then you have higher chances of starting combos. You've got perks that play into that. So there's far more, even though it's streamlined, there's more advanced things you can do in it, given the nature of the system, which is really nice.
Cool. Okay.
Let me ask you another like selfish question.
Fighting out, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Can is melee learning melee is it a must, or can you like just exit combat, run away a little bit, and then fire an arrow in their head?
They are fast. They are as fast as you in some cases. So you're not going to be like kiting them super effectively. There is a full archery thing though, so that's important. But you're going to be getting a lot of fights. Like there's a lot of fights. Like you're going to need to learn the combat system to some degree. You cannot talk your way out of every fight. Not that I've seen. So yeah, you're going to want to get to know the combat system.
Cool. In terms of for me, the most alluring aspect of this game is just seeing the world, the lush green forest and all that stuff. Can you play the game and see all that stuff without ever interacting with everything you just described?
Yeah.
Does it have like a
Dude,
whatever that mode
if you wanted to? No, there's not a mode
where you
for
can
it.
just go look.
But if you wanted to, I mean, you could start at the game. You could do some real basic stuff to get like a bow, and then you could just go hunt in the woods, pick flowers, level up, get all your there's so much stuff you could do in this game that's not the main story.
Okay.
That would also give you a lot of power. Like I was saying, I've been playing 40 hours and I'm on step 2 of the main quest.
Yeah.
So absolutely, you could go into the woods and hunt. You could go into the woods and do herbalism. You could work on your sneaking around. You could work on marksman. Like there's lots of ways you can get significantly stronger and also just enjoy the game that don't involve doing combat.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, because that looks gorgeous to me, and that's through a stream that's through a restream actually, because I'm watching on a different computer entirely, and it still looks pretty good. Like I want to just see what that world is firsthand, and I have heard performance is also very good this time around.
Performance is great.
That the FPs are quite high, so I got a code for it. I might just check it out on my own time and see it. Hey, Zeke, you're killing Zeke right here.
I am. Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's actually
Sorry,
Zeke.
bud.
That is very.
Oh my God.
That is very similar.
The dog's attacking him.
That's Gob. Yeah. He's an old guy with a limp. And the guy that sent me to murder him wants me to save him. So I did.
By
Got a nice
killing
shield,
him?
though. No, I let him go. I killed all of his band, and then I showed him mercy, and then.
Oh, you're back. Okay, I gotcha. Huh. Is there fishing in the game, by the way?
No, there are fish, but there's no fishing.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, I know. I don't want to talk about it. I'm sad too. We're getting through it.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Well, the game's doing.
There'll be some expansions. It's okay.
Yeah, they might add fishing.
They can save this.
Oh my God, these people are sleeping.
You
What the
murdered
fuck?
that guy in bed, dude.
You're kind of an asshole, man. What the hell?
Maybe a little bit. I had things to do.
Is there is there like
I
a
have
evil
all day
/
for
good
honorable fights.
thing?
Dude. Okay, so this is kind of hilarious. So you can play this game.
The guy who teaches you how to do fishing. And you killed him. That's why you.
I don't even want. No. Oh, it hurts. There are so many different ways to play this game, and I am playing it from 100% white knight completionist perspective, right? But most streamers are playing the opposite. You can. This is a game that caters to murder hoboing, and it's hilarious how many people come into this, into my playthrough, and are just like, "You can talk to that guy." I remember at one point I was doing this event today, and you talk to this woman, and then you go out the back door of this little wedding thing, and you talk to her a little bit more, and then you come in and dance with her. And, that was the end of the whole thing. And I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. And then someone in his chat was like, wait, the streamer I watch, when he went out back with her, he just murdered her. I was like, oh, you can do that. Like,
Wow.
yeah, they walked back to the wedding and got drunk. It's like, oh, well, that's a way you can play. That, you know, absolutely.
Well,
the world of
That's certainly a
KCD. Look at
choice.
that.
Huh.
So, needless to say, you can really do whatever you want in this game. You can just it's the way the sandbox is set up to allow, kind of like BG3 in a lot of ways. The sandbox is set up to allow ridiculous things to just happen and the game to continue around them.
Cool.
So I know Tangent, a friend of the channel and friend of the show, he's doing like a murder hobo run, but his murder hobo just pissed off everyone and doesn't understand why everyone attacks him. So he's just like, every time I wander into a city, guards attack me and I just have to stab them. I don't know why, but it keeps happening. And it's like, and so he's just running around like role playing this like psychopath that doesn't know why everyone's attacking him.
Does
So he has to just kill everyone.
So
And the game perfectly can cater to it.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, if you walk into a town, kill 3 guards, and then go talk to someone, the quest person that just watch you murder those 3 guards, do they?
So this is interesting.
Do they
so
say anything?
there's like this whole rep system in KCD 2 that's been extended since KCD 1. So every town has its own rep. Every person has their own rep. There's different things that can like override like different levels of rep. So it like in every situation, there's lots of different things that can happen based on where you're mad and who knows you're mad and if you have crime and what type of crime. And
That's
like
awesome.
it's lots. Yeah, it's a very deep system.
Yeah, I would love for someone to like look at that and study that and then take that to a different like fantasy world with, you know, magic and all that type of shit. I'd be super in. That sounds great. I hope someone can actually do that. Like, does it feel like that type of game, Co, where it's the, I saw a lot of like Witcher comparisons in terms of the status of the game, I guess. Would you say that that's correct? Yeah.
I've heard this referred to as Warhorse's Witcher 3, and I would absolutely agree with that.
Okay.
There are people that are going to finish this game and think this game is better than Witcher 3.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I've heard the
100%.
story, while it is, you know, like true to life in that sense, it's also very, very, very good and very moving.
The duality of Twitch chat. Matt Killian, Witcher 3 was better in every way. Minimum 10, the person under him. Oh, KCD absolutely is.
Yeah,
we go.
I mean, that's the duality. You have the choice.
First of all, I would strongly disagree with that. Witcher 3 is better in every way. No, it's not. KCD has significantly better graphics. KCD has phenomenal voice acting, just like Witcher 3. Like I'm sure you could make comparisons between the two, but in my 40 hours, I wouldn't argue that any game is doing anything significantly better than the other. I mean, you can sure there's some argument for flavor, but I mean, Witcher 3's combat system was okay. You know, a lot of people had some pretty significant fair criticisms of it. And so there's some really good comparisons between Witcher 3 and this game.
Cool.
I'm very much looking forward to completing it and like actually being able to talk about it. So many times I keep getting asked this or BG3, and I'm sitting here like, you're talking to somebody on step 2 of the main quest, dude. Like what do you want me to say? I have no idea. Like,
those are also such different games. I don't know.
they are. They're very different games, but I think a lot of people are just asking from like the story RPG experience, because we've had that discussion too. In fact, I've said that same thing. You can't really compare them. Like they play totally differently. They feel totally different.
Yeah.
But a lot of people want to know, like, is this a character and writing quality of BG3? And I can say, like, so far it's been just as entertaining. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, yes. But again, I'm on
I feel
step
like
2 of the
that
main quest.
happens with a lot of different genres. I play so many Metroidvanias, and pretty much every time I play one, someone will inevitably be like, "How does this compare to Hollow Knight?"
Yeah, Hollow Knight
Like,
is the big one. Yeah.
Not every Metroidvania is going to feel the same, play the same. There are going to be crossover elements that make them the same genre, but like a lot of times, I'm going to say I can't really compare them. They're both good games, maybe, if that's the answer, you know.
Yeah.